And hello and welcome to another amazing episode of Menopause Made Easy. And I have today with me a wonderful Donna. Uh, she's a holistic practitioner, also a spiritual coach and body resonance healer. She helps women deepen their relationship with their physical body so that they transform the trauma and limiting human imprint that continue to hold them from embarrassing sensual fluidity and sexual freedom. She is a partner at Equilibrium, a private health and well-being practice in Ottawa, Canada, and leaders in human and spiritual development. And today we talk about embracing a balanced and juicy menopause. Welcome, Donna, to the show, and tell us a little bit about yourself. How you come up with this idea to work in a spiritual level with body resonance and body healing?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you, Dilyana, for welcoming me here, and yeah, to chat today about embracing a balanced and juicy menopause is something I'm passionate to chat with everybody about. So I guess how did I come to be a spiritual coach and now step into body resonance is really because my own journey with my reproductive health. First of all, I had endometriosis for many years, and I went to see as many doctors and specialists who all kept giving me the same information, that there wasn't anything other than surgeries and more pills and more of this, and the pain. And for anybody that has any reproductive health, and I mean, I'm going to pop menopause in there to a certain point, because certainly during menopause things can flare up incredibly. However, what happened was I finally, just the day that I was at the last specialist, and I had been on these sequence of time after time appointments, and I was just like, that's it. I finally heard my intuition. I finally actually listened. I'm going to use that. I'm actually listened to my intuition that said, become whole. And it was like I broke down. I went down on the street and I told the specialist no. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not having a hysterectomy. I was too young. And so let's talk about that. Sort of steps you into your spiritual self. And I think that's a funny one for some people. I mean, I know you understand it, but for those listening, spirituality can be this, it's woohoo, or that's not who I am. I'm normal. I'm logical. I'm a person. Hello. Well, yeah, you are. You're both. We are both. Science proves it. There's so much data. And yet it doesn't even matter what anybody else thinks. It's really, spirituality is tapping into the essence of who you are so that you can deeply connect to that inner power. So I stepped out and really just went on the path of, I don't know how I'm going to get any help. Nobody was healing from endometriosis. Certainly at the time I had it. So I was like, okay, but people are healing from other things, right? So I'm just going to research. I'm going to look at different things. I'm going to step into anything alternative healing. And I did. I went down sound therapy. I went looking at, different books. I do yoga, all different stuff. Except what happened was it became a space of dabbling, right? Instead of intentionally shifting my life. So when I did that and really said, I know what I want. I know what I want that health to be like for me. I know what I want me to be expressing as that. I know what I want to feel in all of that. Things changed. Now, did it change overnight? No. It took time, and not so much, because once once I really understood that it's all about simultaneously healing our mind, our emotions, and our energy field. We have to understand we have an energy field that's working around us, and the brilliance is when we work with that and understand the power that we have with our own energy, things transform. So I stepped up into that healing. It certainly took me on another path of many different healings. And now I understand it because I live it. I live it every day. I set out an intention to become all I have the potential to become. And how do I continue to stay vibrant and healthy and balanced? And the balance, which our company is called Equilibrium, it's really in that space of coming to balance, coming to coherence inside of you, because then everything resonates to you anyway, right? So the body resonance part of me, well, that's all what it is. You're resonating, right? So it became, how do I work with my body, my wisdom, and resonate with the things that I want in my life? Now, I also, over time, channeled my own practice. So much like somebody would study Reiki or do different tuning forks or whatever, those are fine. Those are great, amazing. However, mine took me to and I believe that we all have this capacity, should we wish to step into it. You, human, has no idea what the big wide universe wants for you. So if you let them, well, they gave me this. So I work right on in with your energy. I can pull out what's not working and bring you what needs to get you to that space of, how do I see myself differently? How do I vibrate differently? So I work one-on-one with clients to move through any really type of challenge. It's just menopause is certainly a big thing. Yeah. Yeah.
And what is the process actually to take the person from knowing and nothing about the energy, how the energy works, to start tuning in and pay more attention of vibration, energy, resonance, how you took them from point A to point B and heal?
Right. So I think let's step into the very first thing that we do with any client is resuscitate the energy field. We have to teach you to get the stress out of your field. So for anybody, you need a stress release practice. And a lot of people will say breathing is enough. Breathing is not enough. We need to relearn how to breathe, except breathing's not enough. You need to learn how to flush stress out of your body. So we teach practices to flush the stress out of your body. So every day you do a practice in the morning, something short at night. And then we give you tips through the day that if, you know what, how do I switch things around? What do I need to do so I can be in my energetic space? Every single person, and you know this from yoga or whatever. However, even though you know from yoga, because understanding something here with this mind is not knowing it, right? So for all the yogis out there, and this isn't a disrespectful thing. I totally come from we have many people that come in yoga in our practice. And it's like, because you're using that, except you've not set up your own field. You don't have an intention of how do I want to. So we work with resuscitate the field first. Then we take you through an entire journey, 12, 16 weeks. I say 16 because you might need 16. Everybody's individual experiences and what they want and how willing they are. They have to be willing. They have to be ready and willing. Because I don't do your work for you. I facilitate it. I'm right in there. I'm with you side by side, right? We won't let you go. We have highly personalized, which allows our clients to move through it faster. And I say faster, not because we need to get over it, but strictly, and to come from that space of, you need someone who sees your blind spots, who can gently call you out on them, show you how to tweak here, move here, and use your mind for what the mind was for, use and work with your emotions and then your field. So it's the field first, 3 weeks of the field. But so if I didn't answer it, ask me again. But I think one key thing
just clarify some. Again, you say resuscitate the field, your energetic field.
We say we're helping you resuscitate.
Resuscitate, yes. So what is that?
So it is like breathing, right? Like you're getting your lung, you're opening your whole field. Except a lot of people think it's just the air that you're breathing. Well, no, you're actually opening the field of your energy. We have an energy field that lives around us. It lives around you regardless. It's just we teach you how to use it. We teach you how to activate that. So then when you activate that, what you call in and those intentions that you hold, you start to get your body, your human, right? We need to get you in your body and stay in your body. If you're not well, you're not sick, and you're stressing about this and you're thinking about the future and you're perpetuating the fact that I have menopause, or I'm going to always have menopause, or this is the horriblest thing. It's like, then you're going to keep getting it. That's not me telling you. This is a woman who's lived through endometriosis. I see my clients. It's physics. Physics, science will tell you that what you observe, observes you back. If you see that there's a problem with menopause, you will get that. What we teach is this field and how do these emotions that are working for you, how do you work with them? Because menopause is just more stuck energy. If you're having pain during menopause, it's more energy that's stuck. You're fighting the very fact that you are feminine and you are masculine. You are a woman and you are male traits. It's just we're forcing ourselves to fix something instead of standing in the power to turn on that innate power every day and have the tools that when we go off course, because life is stressful, I'm not discounting that, right? Parents get sick, kids have to be taken somewhere, car breaks down, doesn't matter. We're all inflicted with things. A fire happens, the community, a hurricane comes through, whatever it is, that's stress. But with the tools that we teach and that we stand behind 100%, you will get into that space so that you become the one empowering yourself. So you learn to step into your power, stay in your power, not to fight for it, to own it, to truly own your power. And not from, I wanted to say not from unapologetically me, because there's so much of that out there. And it's like, no, unapologetically me, authentically me, right? So my guides told me about my intuition way back when I had endometriosis to become whole. Well, now I teach you how to become whole. We focus on one things at a time, and that's not how life is. We've got way too many things going on. So how do you live life, all of it?
Yeah, that's yeah. So how actually spiritual coaching fit into menopause and reproductive health?
Yeah. Because I think what's happening is we are in a spiritual evolutionary crisis. So even if you don't like the word spiritual, step out of that. We are in a brilliant time in evolution, in the history of the planet, in the history of the world, of this earth. This now is a time that, and COVID, right? It shook the whole world up, sent you back home to get into your heart space ultimately, to find out, do I actually like my life? Do I love what I'm doing? Do I love the people around me? Right? So that from there, when you're trusting and you're running and using your heart as the one that rides the show, then your soul, your spirit, everything can come alive, right? So the spiritual part is your very essence has a greater wisdom than your little tiny human could ever know, right? So we teach you how to work the human. So the spiritual part of the menopause is because we're still looking at our human physicality as a problem. It's the one holding, and I have a problem. I'm sorry, Donna, I have a problem, right? And I'm like, yes, I had endometriosis. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to not be able to get out of bed for weeks at a time. I know what it's like to not eat anything. I know what it's like to feel like you're going to die. I know what it's like to lie on the bathroom floor on a cold toilet and hug the toilet bowl because it's the coldest place, right? I know what that is. I know what blood clots are that are coming out of you, and your fibroids and cysts and things that are like, not to make this horrible, but I get it. I get it, which is why I'm so passionate about women don't need to live like that. Men don't need to live like that. We need to understand we're living in such a tiny human little bubble in our own brain, when it's like the brain's got to go in the back seat so the soul, which is really our emotions, can come to the forefront. We can navigate those, and then the mind and the energy and the emotions, everything, and then our true juiciness comes out, our vitality, because we're keep learning how to come back into balance, right? It's nature.
It's all about the balance, right? Yeah. If you could give a woman one tool to ease the pain she might be having right now, what would be?
Flush stress. Have a stress flushing practice. When something like that happens, so if you do get a flare up, the first thing to do is breathe. You need to breathe, except the breathing comes from, we need to breathe into our belly. We need to get our belly breathing like a child would again, right? And there's different people that have different school of thoughts. There's so many breathing techniques out there, but really breathe in your belly and bring that air up into your lungs. So you're breathing, your body's breathing. So the simple, and you can, I mean, close your eyes. Just the very fact, if you take a breath, Dilyana, with your eyes closed, and imagine that the breath not only fills your physical body, but actually fills a little bit outside of you, so that there's space between the skin and your bones even. You need breath in there. So when we do that breath, that's the first thing. Find a grounding practice. We need to ground. Nature is grounding. So get out in nature, except that's just not the only thing. We can't be at our desk and then all of a sudden, I got to go outside, right? So you have to have a grounding techniques, right? But nature is a beautiful one to have. And then it's flushing stress, finding, and what I'll do is I'll share, if you want, a 5-minute practice that people can do. I'll drop it, a link, if you share a link with people, just that they can have a 5-minute practice that if they start that and do it every day, they'll start to see a shift. Now, is that enough? No. But what it does is it's something to activate the meridian lines to get things flushing through you, right? So that's how you start. That's how spirituality starts. Know that you're more, right? Learn to flush the stress and breathe, and trust that you're more. Have a bigger vision than menopause. Have a bigger vision than next week. We need to have something that we're moving towards so that our life expands beyond that. We're not done. It's I got to share something with you. I was, just before we came on, in my email, I had read that yesterday was Menopause Day, World Menopause Day. So there you go. We're all in this menopause transition. We'll all experience it. Let's go there, right? In some form or fashion. It's just, do you see it as a problem, or do you see it as, okay, it's just a life transition? It's literally now, they say by 2025, a $600 billion industry, which it doesn't have to be. And I'm not discounting that there's not things that people may need if you're using it for an interim, right? Okay, I'm going to do this until I've learned those practices that Donna's teaching, or I've found somebody, right? So that it's like, if we really are in a menopause state of, I don't know, 7-10 year, everybody has got a sort of little different theory on what that is. But it's like, okay, if you're going to medicate yourself in some form or fashion, you're going to hot water bottle, you're going to drink this, eat this, whatever, work with me for 6 months, a year at the most, you'll be like, why wouldn't I have done it sooner? Why wouldn't I have? Right? So there's offers out there. It's just, it's so mind blowing to me, and not because everything exists. It's just, it doesn't have to be that, right? We need to, women, I think it's also, the true opportunity that your body is telling you, I'm changing. Yes. My hormones are changing. Yes. Except I have the wisdom to help you move through it. You don't need to fight yourself. Get to know me. You, Dilyana, get to know you. Donna, get to know Donna. Because when we get to know our body and our body wisdom, it's not going to make us sick at all. It's going to keep us so happy. All it wants is for us to be happy, right? It wants us for us to be juicy. It wants us for us to be whatever we want to be. Yeah. Yeah. So you don't have to wait 5 years. You don't have to be in pain. You don't have to be in pain 10 years, ladies. None of that. And the other thing too, because I work with vibration, right? We work with energy and vibration. So many people think they get it and they understand it. Sure. However, when you work with it, which is what I do and what I can teach people to do for themselves, how they wish to really step in it, what happens is we have to understand everything is vibrating out there anyway. So I'm broadcasting something. Well, if I'm broadcasting that I have menopause, everything that is menopause on the same frequency and vibration of that menopause. So if mine sucks, everything that sucks is coming at you. So you're going to keep seeing it. Like I said earlier, the observing, right? Where if I see it's like, oh my God, no, it's fine. Oh my God, I don't even think about it. I don't even think about it, right? It's just that, it's just trusting that body wisdom, finding that body wisdom. Yeah. Again, someone else.
It's so true. Yeah, I find it's all come to the finding this wisdom within, with these techniques and tools that you offer, and that can help. So you offer body resonance healing session. How does that support women in menopause?
So my individual sessions. So for anybody that's been to, well, any type of energy healing, really, because massage is energy healing, your chiropractor, all of that, it's all moving energy. What I do is I come with the client, find out just where you're at, right? Then what I do is I open the field because I know how to work with the field. But what I'm doing is I'm speaking to your higher self, the part of you that's not sick, right? So me speaks to the higher part of you that's not sick. I open up the energy with your permission, and then I go in and find out where now is something that's showing up in your body that's stuck and that's keeping you in that same pattern. So then when I can literally, I sort of pull it out. I get messages because after the session, I can share all of these things, but you basically lie there like you would with a massage. You don't do anything. You just receive. right? Women don't know how to receive. So I teach you how to receive. Open it up. And then what happens is your guides or whatever comes through intuitively, I start, because I work with vibration, I can pull in the vibration from the ethers, the cosmos, the guides, whatever. They might hold me something and hand me and tell me exactly where to put it. Typically they do, right? Or they tell me they need to do this type of movement. They need to, and the invitation, need to, is this is the invitation. If you do these things that Donna shares with you for a period of time and really anchor them in, you're going to go back to that very essence of you, that very joyful part of you, because we all have it. It's just buried under a whole bunch of stuff, right? So then I basically bring in energies and fill you back up, sort of energetically zip you back up into your warm little suit of a human. And then we have a conversation around what can you do, right? So I'm working across the entire field. And yeah, finding out what comes up. You might come up with a dance. You might come up with 3 or 4 things to do. Often it is. And then often it's messages. And I can't, everybody has their own messages. I half the time don't know. I'm like, you want me to say that to them? Right? Like, you want me to tell a 65-year-old woman that they should be on like wearing a leather jacket in a skateboard park? Yeah, I do, is what they tell me. I'm like, okay. So I tell them and they're like, oh my God, totally. That used to be me. Right. And what that does is, right, because for me, I'm just like, really? And I've gotten out of the way. I step out of the way, me human, because that very person, as a for instance, because it was an actual case, she was like, oh my God. And I'm like, that's the vibration. You need to go back to that time when you were in that skateboard park and you need to relive that vibration. It needs to emulate and imbue and infuse in your body so that you remember what life was about then, right? Get outside of this structured woman, logical, whatever, or man that you're living. Go back to those places of possibility. The other part that it does is it takes me and for you into the very inner child or inner teen that still lives in us, right? We speak conscious parenting. I speak that words, but it has such a misconnotation in many forms because yes, we want to consciously parent for those that have children, right? Teens, whatever they are. And yet that little child, us, right, still lives in there.
If you have to say something in your 16-year-old, what are you going to be?
If I said to my 16-year-old, what was I going to be? Oh, my 16-year-old wanted to be an archaeologist, actually.
Wow.
And then, well, so the funny part is once I started to delve into what is archaeology, and then I watched them doing these things, I'm like, I don't have the patience for that. Like, I'm like, are you kidding me? If I found bones, right? Or I don't care. Doesn't matter, right? I can't even think anymore, but some sort of artifact, right? I'd be like, get me in there and get that thing out. I want to see it, right? Well, I was like, okay, yeah, no. However, here's going to take part of the spiritual journey that we all take, which is learn your metaphors. Because what do I do now? I'm an archaeologist. It's just, and I needed to learn so much patience. I needed to have so much patience for myself to uncover in absolute personal awareness, self-discovery. That's what's happening when you're in menopause and it's a problem. You need to discover more of yourself. You need to have the patience and the lightness and the gentleness and know that there's highs and lows. But I'm like, my God, the gratitude and the love and the joy will outweigh absolutely any pain that you even think is possible, that you've even experienced, right? Because I don't discount that death and all of these. Are you kidding me? I've experienced it. There's many things, right? It's just, yeah, we're all archaeologists, actually. So I laugh. I'm like, no, I didn't want to do it then because I was like, get me at it. I just want to get it out of there, right? Well, that's part of the problem, right? We need to be gentle. So yeah.
We need to be gentle with ourselves. And thank you so much for your wisdom and sharing with our audience today what it's possible to, they can find their inner wisdom, how they can find techniques and tools to actually help themselves to heal in an energetic level and balance this menopause in energetic level. I really appreciate your time and your wisdom. Thank you again to be again with me today. Thank you, listeners, to listen Menopause Made Easy every week. And I see you very soon again in the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Take care, everyone. Bye.